Yo, Big Dog back again. Listen, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for locking in. And if you've been here before, big up yourself for coming back. You're done now. Alright, let me get into this. Actually, before I start, like, subscribe. Yeah, make sure you add up the channel. Big up yourselves. Yeah, but let's get into it. Aye. So, I know it's a couple days on. We played Wednesday night. Bayer Leverkusen, but I gotta say it was a poor performance, a bad overall stinky performance. Get it out of it. The game changed when Madueke come on, but if we play like this, we're not gonna win the league. We will get knocked out by Bowden Glint. We may beat Man City in the Carabao Cup final. We'll lose to we'll lose to who we got in the FA Cup. Nah, Chelsea got Port Vale. Who we got? Anyway, I'll get back to that. But even that, we'll get knocked out of that. If we continue, like, don't get me wrong, I love the 1-0 to the Arsenals. I love the digging in. Like in my previous video, I said, I don't care how we win as long as we do it. But performances like that, where really you should be going out. You see what Bayern Munich did. Yeah, you see what PSG did. You see what these clubs are doing in the first leg of the Champions League of the last 16. They're going and smashing these teams away from home. Bayern Munich went and smashed at Atalanta. Chelsea got smashed by PSG. Real Madrid went out there and mashed works on Man City. Yeah, that's how we should have gone to Leverkusen. Now we go home a home game against a Leverkusen that we know at home we should probably beat, but it's a more pressure game than it should be. You go out there, you play the game right. I felt like it's almost like we felt like we could go there, roll them over, or just do the job, get a 0-0, come back, or a little scrape a 1-0 victory, and then have the security of playing at home. Now Leverkusen have an opportunity to go away, play their hardest football, and try to get through to the next round. Which they come up against Bowden Glint, where they're not gonna. That's an evenly matched game. Whoever can go through, Bowden Glint probably not through, and then someone's on their way to a semi-final. All I'm saying is, if we continue to carry on with these performances, and let's just get onto it. Wayward passing, Nketiah passing the ball off the pitch. Passes are short. They look leggy. They look tired. There's passes coming up short. I see Timber try to play a pass to Saka, and he just like taps it in his direction. There's no crispness. There's no sharpness in the passing. And then Martinelli just running around in circles. You had Saka, who, I'm a Starboy fan, don't get me wrong. I love Saka, but it's not happening at the moment. It's not happening at the moment. Madueke looks sharper, he looks quicker, he looks ready, he looks like he's on it. Saka just looks like all he wants to do is cutting on the left foot. He's not looking for Gyökeres, so it's like he slows down the play, and it's just not working at the moment. And I feel he may just need to rest, sit down for a bit, let Madueke take over and command that right-hand side. And this is why the beauty of bringing these players in is that we have options. And yeah, I feel like Declan Rice was working. Zubimendi's went a little bit invisible. And you know what? I say that, all that to say this. It shows you how much we miss Mikel Moreno. I think we probably underestimated how much he brings to the side when he comes in these kind of games where he's just a bit of more, he's just got that Spanish tiki-taka link-up play. He just does it a little bit different. You know what I mean? He gets in those positions, he gets in the box, he knows, he arrives at the right time. He just gives us that little bit more, and him being out injured just goes to show how much we're missing him. Because, don't get me wrong, I think Eze's got a high ceiling to fill, and there's more from him, but we're just not seeing it in these kind of games where he should be really handling this opposition. He looks like he's just a bit behind the pace of the game, not influencing, not really stamping his mark. Yeah, he was pressing and doing what he needs to do, but it just don't look as effective as we need it to be. And yeah, it worries me. Like, I'm still confident that we can win the league. I'm still positive. But these games where it's just not looking convincing for me, and that's the problem that we're having right now. We're going into the crunch time parts of the season, and it just don't look convincing. We're scraping these wins. We're not, blowing teams away or getting stronger. Like, you look at how it was last year when PSG lost to us 2-0. Then in the later half of the Champions League and the league, they just started to get better and better. It's like, I feel like we're getting worse. I feel like as it goes on, as the pressure builds, we're getting worse, and it's really starting to weigh heavy on these players. And I think if we can win the Carabao Cup coming up next week, I think that is huge. I feel like, yes, it's the Carabao Cup, but I feel like it will just be a big weight lifted off of these players. I feel like they're carrying the burden of not succeeding for this club in this era where we are better and challenging. And I think if they can get that monkey off their back and they go and beat City at Wembley, I just think it will just de-stress this whole squad and revitalize them, and we will see a whole different team going into this final half of the season. But yeah, and City, don't get me wrong, I was looking at City thinking, oh yeah, and then they went up against some Real Madrid side where Pep overthought it, changed the side up, got beaten 3-0, which I don't really know how that does us. But in a sense, that means they have to go out in the next game, in the second leg, and really play. And they play us the following weekend. So in the Carabao Cup final. So he's going to have to play, if he wants to stay in the Champions League, he's going to have to play his stronger side. I don't feel they'll settle for the Carabao Cup as what, if we can, the Champions League is done. And if we're going to do anything, let's just go for that. I feel like they're going to have to go strong in the Champions League and try and get a result against Real Madrid, and then they have to play us. So it would have been nice if we had got the game of Leverkusen dead and buried in the first leg. You can kind of rest a few players, change it up, and then you go into that cup final a little bit more, rested and ready for it. But it is where it is, and we are where we are. No game's going to be easy, and City have got West Ham, who are looking good at the moment. They're trying, they're fighting, and we've got an Everton side which, give or take, can be a good team on their day. So it'll be interesting. I think points dropped this weekend can cause a lot of damage in the league. I think even for City, I think if we beat Everton and City lose or draw against West Ham, it's going to be tough. Yeah, I think they would probably look at it like the league is over, and I think a lot of people will say that, but you never know. 8 games to go, 7 games to go, anything can happen. We've seen teams drop bigger leads in this position, so we just have to keep pressing on. But I will state the fact, if we carry on with performances like what I see against Bayer Leverkusen, yeah, it's going to be a long last few months of this season, because it can't continue. The standards have to be raised, and you can tell this ain't Arteta, this is the players. Arteta, you can tell he's fuming. He's looking at the players like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? But he'll back the players and keep supporting them and keep pushing them to do better. So let's just see what happens, man. Let's just see what happens. But all in all, it was a shocking week for the Premier League in Europe. Everyone getting onto Arsenal, but we managed to get a result in terms of a draw. So we just see what happens. I'm keeping it short and sweet. Thank you for locking in. Make sure you like, subscribe again. Also, check out the latest drop from Lean Gang on the website. Link in the bio. Yeah, let's go.